didn't get this time. Okay, nice. Because I recorded this before and I almost tripped. Like I slid in too quickly. But anyway, today's a very special video. I want to talk about the Camaro ZL11LE and why I believe it is the most significant car in my Top Drives career. And in today's video, obviously we're going to be winning the ZL1 at the end of the video. I'll be inviting Wyatt over and we're going to be winning this prize car together because both of us have suffered for the last 4 years. Obviously, the last time the ZL11LE came out, and it was the only other time it was released, it was 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, back in February of 2019. And we barely missed out on it. But back in the day, I'm pretty sure, I think only top 8 could win the prize car. And I think Wyatt and I finished 10th and 11th. Something like that. It was not a good time. But basically, I want to talk about why I believe the ZL11LE is the most significant car in Top Drives that has made me not only the Top Drives player that I am, but also the person that I am. I've always thought that, since I was young, I was a pretty competitive person. But since the ZL11LE, it brought out an entirely new level. I want to call it like the German level of competition or competitiveness. Like, I used to be competitive, but because of the ZL11LE, I became like so incredibly meticulously competitive where like I would take no prisoners kind of situation. Like that was a mindset that I didn't have before losing out in the ZL11LE. So today I want to talk about, just the journey. I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys. Obviously all my videos, they're not scripted, but this one is truly going to be just straight up story time. And the funny thing is, I win so many prize cars now where I forget how I even win them. Like I forget the requirements. Even if it was a prize car that I won just last month, I couldn't tell you what the requirements were off the top of my head because to me, where I'm sitting now, winning prize cars is a dime a dozen. And I feel like I wouldn't be in this situation of just winning so many things if it wasn't for the ZL11LE. And another contrast to let you know is that, I've won so many prize cars where I just forget how I won them and I forget the journey. But the ZL11LE, even though that occurred over 4 years ago, the memories and the events that happened on that weekend live rent-free in my mind, for better or for worse, and they are just so damn clear. But anyway, today I want to talk about the journey to the ZL11LE. So it really all begins all the way back to 2017. When I used to be a very casual player. I started playing Top Drives in September of 2017. I was a senior in high school, 17 years old, and I was playing it casually. I was kind of in that phase of life where I just really couldn't find a mobile game that I would really commit to. I played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for a couple of years on and off, and before that it was Clash Royale, and before that it was Clash of Clans, and before Clash of Clans I didn't even have a goddamn phone. So yeah, Top Drives was the first game which I really committed to all the way until today, literally 2023. I'm 23 years old now. And yeah, back when I started as, as most kids start, I guess, free to play, didn't buy any of the opening offers, and I knew that. I was immature, definitely. I'm still very immature now, but I wasn't immature to the point where I didn't understand what being a free-to-play was. I played free-to-play games before. I knew what it meant to be a free-to-play. And when I went into Top Drives, I knew about, like I wasn't gonna get every single car. So I set my sights really small. I only wanted Chevrolets when I started playing Top Drives in 2017. Chevrolet and Mercedes were the two brands that I kind of really wanted to go for. Remember, back in 2017, there was no Aston Martin, there was no Dodge, there was no Porsche. So Chevrolet was really the first brand which I really tried to go and collect everything for. And I had like a couple Z28s, the one from the campaign. Like I unpacked one, and then I won one from the campaign. I maxed both of them, and I still have both of them in my garage. I got a 332 and a 233. And I had a couple of Corvettes, and really Chevrolet was one of my strongest brands at the start. I remember at the end of 2017, I remember this very vividly. I was sitting on the toilet looking through my garage with that probably less than 250 cars, and I was like, wow, I have 4 Max Chevrolet Epics. I don't have 4 Max Chevrolet Epics I don't have 4 Max Epics for any other brand. It was a big deal. It was genuinely a big deal having Max Epics back then, especially for a new player like myself. But obviously as the game progressed, then my goals started to shift because they added, more Chevrolets in American Dream. That's when they added Dodge, which was the big boy. And they also added Porsche at the end of 2017, but they only became really competitive and they only released Porsche prize cars at the start of 2018. And obviously they added Jaguar and all that, but I never cared about Jaguar and Rover and all that kind of stuff. So that was that's the first chapter. Chevrolet and Mercedes, or just Chevrolet just for the basis of this video, was my first love in top drives because that was a time before Porsche, Dodge, Aston. And then when Porsche was added, then obviously I transitioned from a free-to-play to a semi-pay-to-win because Porsche was truly the first brand that really made me go, like I really want that car. Like I really, really wanted the 918. So I kind of started having the taste of that competitive nature in top drives. I won the 918 in the summer of 2018. I won the GT1, I think, at the start of 2018. I think I want to say it was like January of 2018, my first ever Tri-Series prize car. And that's really when I started, getting the copium, I started smoking from the crack pipe of opening carbon fibers. But I still wasn't smart about it. Obviously, there was no strategy to opening my carbon fibers. I would spend a couple of cash here and there, basically my pocket change to open carbon fibers when I felt like doing so. And there was no strategy to it. Now I only open carbon fibers for a prize car that I really want, or if there's a car that I really want from an update, like Pacific Coast Highway, the Dodges that I can't seem to get. Like I would only open in those strategic moments. I won't open a random vanilla carbon fiber here and there anymore as I used to, you know what I mean? So, this is where we are now. Chapter 2, I started spending money on the game, but I'm still not very smart about it, and I'm not very strategical about it. Yeah, and there were times where I would hold back. So I was competitive. Like for the 918, I was competitive, but I held back. I won it, but I held back. What I mean by this is, nowadays, if I want to go all out for a Tri-Series prize car, I will open all 15 carbon fibers and I will throw in the kitchen sink. I will sell other cars. I will fuse prize cars. I will do anything that is necessary to win the Tri-Series car at hand. But for the 918, I'm going to be honest with you, like I won the car, but I wasn't even that competitive. And I don't think I needed to be that competitive at the time. There were, I think, maybe like 10 or 15 carbon fibers that you could have opened for the 918 final. Maybe more, I can't remember, but I think I only opened like 5 or 6. And I got really lucky because from the 5 or 6, I did get a legendary 911 Turbo. So that was pretty cool. And then obviously like back then, putting one upgrade in a legendary was the end all be all. When I invest 3 epics, I'm just like, wow, this is insane. Like I've never invested epics. I've never upgraded a legendary for a Tri-Series final, and I did that for the 918. So, back then that was the level of competition. I wouldn't say it's nothing. It's really nothing by today's standards, Oh, I maxed 2 epics. Oh, I put in 1 fuse in a legendary. Like nowadays, maxing out epics and upgrading legendaries, even maxing legendaries is what you need to do if you want to win a prize car. So, yeah, like I said, that's when I started getting a little bit more competitive, but not incredibly competitive. And it worked. That blueprint worked. For me, right? Upgrading epics, maxing epics, and then slightly upgrading legendaries, that worked for like a year. So I won the 918, I won the GT1, I won the Demon, and that one I won with an Ultra because you needed the Chevrolet Tahoe Custom. I won the Demon. I also, ironically, won the Project 8, which was a piece of crap, and just a couple other cars here and there. It wasn't too much. Now we set forward to 2019. This is the year of the ZL11LE. I've graduated from I've graduated from high school. I'm in university. I'm working on my major. At the time, it was my first year in uni, so I was working in BA, Bachelor of Arts, for industrial design because I wanted to get into car design at the time. This was in New York before I went to NYU. But yeah, so that was that. I was first year of uni. It was a completely new life. I was living on my own on the other side of the country, and that was when I really tasted the copium, the crack pipe, if I may say so. The thing is, I was always very kind of aloof. Like if I could win a prize car, I win a prize car. It is what it is. I was very good at letting go. Like if I knew that I didn't have like 1 epic or 2 epic, instead of going to open packs to try and get that 1 or 2 epics, then I would just say, whatever, it is what it is. It's a Tri-Series prize car, but it's not a Porsche, it's not a Dodge, I don't really care. But then, yeah, the Dodge final came around. I won the Dodge Demon. I went really hard on that, but still not incredibly hard. I didn't open every single carbon fiber for the Demon, and I won the Demon without even using a single prize card. I mean, without a single legendary, sorry. I had no legendaries in that hand. I had a Max Hellcat, had a Tahoe, and 2 Camaros that I maxed as well. 2 epic Camaros that I maxed. So definitely that was a very expensive final, but it definitely wasn't the most competitive hand, I'll be honest. But I did remember beating Bugatti Top Drives in that final. But then again, now thinking back about it, Bugatti Top Drives was already on his way out. So, you know, beating him at that point was kind of like I was beating someone not in his prime, so whatever. And then, yeah, I won that. That was obviously huge. And then I was like, yes, I really enjoy this, you know, this winning feeling now, you know. And then the next prize card that came out was a Mercedes x5 final for the Evo, the Mitsubishi Evo 8. And I won that too. So that was the first time ever, I think, I had back-to-back Tri-Series wins. I won the Demon, and then I won the Evo. And then the prize card that came after that was the ZL11LE. And it was 5 times Porsche. And I was so confident that I was going to get a 3, you know, back-to-back-to-back. Because Porsche was one of my biggest collections at the time in my garage, and it still is till to this day, because, you know, I told myself I will only focus on a couple manufacturers at a time, and I was focusing on Porsche, I was focusing on Chevrolet, I was focusing on Dodge. That was the big 3. Obviously, I freaking love Mercedes-Benz. I have a 500 SEC poster right here, but to be honest, I didn't like the Mercedes lineup in Top Drives at the start of the game. Even until today, I don't really like it. I mean, I like it, but look, Mercedes is underrepresented in Top Drives. They're missing so many amazing cars. Yes, they have the 560 SEC now, but they don't have the 500 SEC. They don't have the 420 SEL. They don't have the 560 SEL. They don't have, you know, the E250s and the E300s, the E400s. Like, I'm a huge Mercedes nut, and like they are missing out on so many cars, right? So that's why I kind of didn't go for Mercedes at the start. Also, I needed to tell myself I'm going to limit myself to 3 brands, and I'm going to be spending too much money, and my mom's going to slap me in the face. That's a joke. My mom never hit me. Okay, so shout out to her for that. But anyway, so the 01 I was really confident about it. I was like, wow, okay, so Porsche times 5. Like I had 4 legendary Porsches. And I guess it was a little bit of overconfidence that led me to not winning the car. And this was when I started making friends from the leaderboard as well. I knew Wyatt. I think I knew Wyatt before. I knew Wyatt before the ZL11LE. He was already one of my viewers. I think I knew Wyatt since 2018, no, 2017, maybe the end of 2017. He's been around for a long time, man. I mean, I don't want to say that I have favorite patrons because I love all of my high tier patrons equally. But yeah, Wyatt, he's like, I was speechless. Wyatt should be happy. I was speechless about you. I didn't know what to say. I appreciate you a lot. I really do. But yeah, so we were in the same bracket for the ZL11LE, and I was feeling confident because I had 4 legendaries and 1 max epic. But I didn't have the knowledge. Sorry, Siri. Yes, shit, Siri, shut up. But, like, I didn't have the knowledge. I had the cars, but I didn't have the knowledge. And because I didn't have the knowledge, I actually didn't have the cars. See, my knowledge of Top Drives was still really superficial back in 2018. I always thought, oh, because you are a legendary, you are good. Because you are a legendary and you are a higher tier, and yeah, I learned so many things from the ZL11LE final. Like how 4-wheel drive is completely useless, and how handling is so important, and how slick tires and weight was so incredibly important, because the problem with the final was this. Everybody had the epic Porsche RSR. I didn't. But I thought that I was going to be fine because I had 4 legendaries and an epic. That's what I kept telling myself. I had 4 legendaries and an epic. You know, like, how could I not win this? I had 4 legendaries. It was the strongest hand in terms of rarity I've ever had for a Tri-Series final. So I went in with a lot of confidence that I was going to get the 01LE up to the point where I was like, oh, Wyatt, I'm gonna lose and give you wins because I knew that my hand was so good. The only issue was I didn't know how shit four-wheel drive cars were in top drives. So there were tracks as like karting circuit and slalom where I would put my legendary 911 with 94 handling against an RSR with 99 handling, which was lighter than my 911, and I would end up losing and I would end up being confused. Because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I have a legendary. It has a way lower 0 to 60. I know it has less handling, but there is no way that I'm losing to an epic. And that was really the thing. You know, the top people in that bracket had the RSR. I didn't have the RSR. Or they had those slick tire Porsches like the 962 and 907, which I didn't have as well. I had the four-wheel drive Porsches, and I had a rear-wheel drive GT2 in my hand, which only had, I think, one upgrade into it. So looking back at it, if I really truly wanted to win the ZL11LE back in 2019, I would have had to max the handling of my legendary Porsches, which is something that I didn't do. And I remember back then, I was so confident that I didn't even play in the final that much until the end. It was the final hour. And I remember it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday when it was ending, as they, all finals, they always end on a Sunday at the end of the week. And obviously I was in university at the time, and I had, homework, like I had work to do that was due at the end of Sunday, basically like Monday, midnight. And I remember I was with my peers. We were working in our dorm, not in our dorm, but in our dorm. Like basically, like we went to my friend's dorm. My friend's building, I guess, and like at the bottom he had like this like meeting workroom where everyone could just come and work together, you know what I mean? So we were all in there, and we were all, last minute, because we partied a lot back then. We were all super last minute, and we were like, yes, we have one day to finish, like we have one afternoon to finish this assignment that was given to us like a week ago. And we had to write basically like, it was like these questions that we had to read a book, and we had to like, answer questions. It was a book about chairs or something. It was some design piece of crap, something like that. And basically every answer to every question that we had, there were only 8 questions, but each answer had to be like 3 paragraphs long or some shit, and it was just really tasking. And I remember like the final was ending. It was ending at like 2 p.m. or something like that, and I knew that I needed to play. No, 5. It ended at 5, and I needed to play. I think you know what? I'm pretty sure the assignment was actually also due at the same time the final ended. I think it was due at 5 p.m. on a Sunday, not midnight. I think most things ended on midnight, but I think that was 5 or something like that. But anyway, I knew that things to do at night as well. So like I knew there was a time constraint to finish the work, but I had a decision to make. Like I was either gonna buckle down and focus on the final and race every single ticket, or finish my homework in time, finish my assignment in time. So my brother, my friend who was, same major with me, basically said, oh bro, like you can just copy my answers, it's fine. Like he understood that I was doing like the game. He knew how much that car meant to me. So he was like, yeah bro, you don't even need to do the work. Like you can just copy my answers, just change it up a little bit, and then you can submit at the same time. The thing is, right, even though that was on the table, I could just copy his answers and change it up. It still took effort, because I would need to read what he wrote, and then I would need to think about how to change the answer, right? So that wouldn't give me free time to play in the final. You get what I'm saying here? So I remember paying him like money. I don't remember how much I paid him. I actually do. I don't want to lie. I do remember how much I paid him. I just don't want to tell you how much I paid him. But yeah, I remember paying him a certain amount of money. I was like, okay, look, I know that you're allowing me to copy your work, but I literally I told him, look, I literally do not have the time to type out the answers. I need to be playing, in the final right now. Like it's every single second counts, because people were racing me at the time, and I was in a state of panic because it was like the final hour, and like I said, I was overconfident because I had all these legendaries, but I kept getting losses. And I didn't know why I kept getting losses, and it was because my 4-wheel drive legendaries had 94 handling, where their RSRs and 962s had like 99 handling when they maxed it out, or like 100 handling, blah blah blah. And like I just didn't know that at the time. It was so annoying. So I was really panicking at the same time. I wasn't thinking straight. So anyway, I paid my friend to just do the work for me, just to write the answers for me, so I could focus solely on the final. And when I focused solely on the final, even though I had that 1 hour to really grasp, and I had a little bit of experience because I've won the Demon, I've won the Evo, I've won the 918. But at the same time, it wasn't meant to be. We kept losing, Wyatt and I, we always blame it on this one person that kept racing us, because he did. But let's be honest, there was no way that only one person alone could race both of us so many times at the same time. It was pretty evident that he had a team. But he was kind of like the main instigator, because he was like the gatekeeper in that final. So we kind of just blame him all the time, and it made it even worse because that guy actually quit playing the game. I think a couple months after that final. So to remember that we both got kicked out, both of us got kicked out of that final to a guy that doesn't even play the game anymore, is just so incredibly frustrating. But anyway, like I said, I didn't win it in the end. I've invested so much. I spent money on carbon fiber packs for that final. I spent money on literally paying my friend to do my homework for me. And I spent an hour of my life just, sweating and panicking and wasn't thinking straight. And I think it was because of that final, I was so incredibly dejected after not winning it. And I knew Wyatt didn't win it either, and we were both kind of suffering together. I feel like, I don't know if I would have felt sadder or happier if I didn't win it and Wyatt did. Because I did promise Wyatt that no matter what happened, he was going to finish above me in that Tri-Series final. And that's why when it came to winning this Camaro in this, As Seen on YouTube challenge, I made sure that Wyatt was going to win the car before me as well. Because I kind of wanted to just, honor that. But I don't know if I would have felt happier or sadder if he won it and I didn't, because then I would have been the only one suffering alone, but also at the same time really saying no, that at least Wyatt, who was a subscriber at the time and still is on Patreon, would have at least won it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but that event never happened. But yeah, just because of that loss, it really made me go back to the drawing board, and it made me approach Tri-Series from a completely different way. I became a lot more serious. I became a lot more competitive, but I think the biggest thing, like I said at the start of the video, I became a lot more meticulous. I really paid attention to every single detail, every single handling score, every single, the weight, the traction control, the ABS. I started upgrading legendaries. Nothing was enough, and I never felt safe in a final ever again. I think ever since the ZL11LE, I was never overconfident. Going into a final, I never said, even though the requirements look good, even in today's standards, even if the requirements look good, even if I feel like I have a good hand, I would usually say, but we don't know what the track sets are yet. We don't know what Hutch is going to do, what curveballs are around the corner. So the ZL11LE, in my opinion, is just the most significant prize car in my top drives journey, because it has made me a completely different level of a competitive player. There's competitive, and then there is the German level of competitive, where every single minute detail has to be considered. And, ever since the ZL11LE, I've been winning prize cars a lot more often. Definitely after that, I won cars like the Roof CTR3 Club Sport. I've won cars like, I can't even remember. That's the biggest one. The Roof CTR3 Club Sport, the M4 GTS, the Moby Dick, but that one was just kind of just longevity. A lot, there were a lot. The Zonda Revolution, Lamborghini Urus, Bugatti Chiron Sport, Lamborghini Huracan Performante, just all of those, right? And I just became more and more competitive, and I learned more and more as a player. But I believe that if it wasn't for the ZL11LE, I would have still been on cruise control. Because like I said, I went hard in the Demon, I went hard in the 918, but a part of me still held back. But after the ZL11LE, there was no, I never held back again. And I actually learned a lot about the game, because then, I realized, wow, 4-wheel drive is actually completely useless. It doesn't add anything in terms of handling unless it's a rain track set. And weight was really important. So I think my hatred for four-wheel drive in top drives also kind of started from that ZL11 LE final. And even until today, I just know that it's just overinflated garbage and it's not as good as you think it actually is. But it's really those learning moments that really help you improve as a player. And the ZL11 LE was definitely the biggest, I guess, wake-up call, the biggest learning moment in my top drives career, and it kind of just made me the player that I am today, and also like it just brought me to a whole new level of competitiveness, I guess. Like I was always a competitive person, but now I'm just a really, really, really competitive person. And I feel like there were a couple things that I've won recently in life that I would not have won if I was my less competitive self, if that makes sense. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I did lose the ZL11 LE the first time, but enough of that. It's time to celebrate. It's time to win this goddamn thing. So let's move on to that. All right, guys. So here we are at I would say at the end of the journey. Like, I did wait very long. As you can see, there's only 1 day and 10 hours left to claim it, but I did promise myself that Wyatt should get the prize card before I do. But I think, talking about Wyatt, we have a very, very, very special guest. My boy, what's up?
What's up?
How many days did you get this ago?
I got it 9 days ago. I got us like as soon as I got it. I actually got the Mazda 787B first, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got the legendary one first as well. I mean, I have a chance. We now have a chance of getting the other one. Like you have a chance of getting the Peugeot, and I have a chance of getting the Mazda. But like that challenge is actually like the hardest challenge I've ever seen. Like, I'm not getting that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, that's super tricky.
It's so hard. I'm already stuck at a level where you need to use a legendary, and I don't have a single legendary. I have a couple of epics max, but I don't have a single. So that's not happening. But what is happening is that we're finally getting ZL11 LE. One thing I gotta say is this moment is like it's a Blossom moment, but it's also like a Wyatt moment. It's a Blossiet, a Wisem. How do you want to call this?
I like the Blossiet.
The Blossiet? It's a Blossiet moment,
yeah.
You know? Like, it feels good. You know, I think you're the only person that have suffered as long as I have. And, like, we've been wanting this car forever. And I really love it. But, like, there is one thing about the ZL11 LE, this moment, that does make me feel a little bit weird. Because it's I don't know about you, but, it just felt really guaranteed that I was gonna get it this time, you know? So that fear factor wasn't there of missing out on it. And that's why, like, now when I get it, yes, I feel really relieved, but also at the same time, I just feel like I could have been more relieved if they did it as a tri-series again. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
more rewarding to beat out.
When they announced this as a prize car, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win it already. But like, you know, it's still a really good feeling.
And they're like the bad epic ones.
Yeah, they're crapped on the BMWs. That's what I got.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go with the BMWs.
Oh my god, I just realized I'm not streaming to you, am I?
Yeah, I know, right?
There we go! Okay.
Okay, there we go.
And we're back.
Okay, I think we should use M2 because you like that car.
I love it. Yeah.
We can use the M5. The Jare.
Okay.
Use a prize car to win a prize car. And then you got what are your legendaries? Your Urus? Okay, not too exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe the R8 is pretty cool.
R8 is pretty cool. Alright, so that's it. I think we should be able to win it, you know, putting the Hummer on the mix. And it would be really funny if we don't win it, but I think it should be okay. I don't think the Hummer's gonna win though.
That mixed is like, that is like the least mixed track. I've ran slick tires on that in events before, and it doesn't change the difference.
Wait, I chose the ZL11 LE, right?
What if you didn't? I mean, I know it said ZL11 LE at the top, but what if you didn't?
Okay. For a second, I was scared. For a second, I was really, really scared. I was like, I chose the right car, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, we did it, man. We did it.
Have the message touch, bro. We did it though, we did it.
Yeah, we did it, bro. We did it. Oh my goodness, after 4 years. You had to be here. You just had to be here. You got it 9 days ago. I got it today. You're here in the moment. We were supposed to celebrate together like this 4 years ago. How old were you then?
4 years ago. Probably 13 or 14, depending on.
It was like 2018, I think, right? So I was 19.
Yeah.
I
mean, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know when I started you, I was watching your channel. I was like 12 or 11 or something stupid like that.
No, still.
Oh, it looks so ugly in red.
Oh my God! After so long, man. 4 years, we are done and dusted. That is the end of a chapter.
Front page of the epics too.
Huh?
Front page of the epics.
Front page of the epics in the top 8. That is what we love to see, man. I mean, the actual top 8. Yeah, I don't need any of these BMWs anyway. Let's go, dude. The amount of anguish I've had for just not owning this car. That's it. I don't know what is next for me. Like, this is the prize car that we both wanted the most for literally over 1,000 days. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
What's your number one prize car, my guy?
What's my number one prize car right now?
Yeah.
When the next update comes out and they have a prize car C8 Corvette.
There you go. There you freaking go. I'm just gonna wait too, I guess. Like when they have the next update to release and they have like a GT3 Viper or something, like the Gen 5. That's it. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. I feel like we've ended an era. We've finished a chapter in this very long book that is Top Drives, that is almost never ending at this point, but we did it, man. We did it.
We did it.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
It just
Awesome.
feels good. We got it, dude. It's so long.
We got it. Speed max?
The funny thing is, I think both of us, we've not maxed it yet, right?
Neither was a max yet. I won 3 in mine, I think,
soon.
but
it's just one of those cars where we would have expected each of us to just max out just like that. But like, since I'm getting this in the heat of a tri-series, and you're also in the heat of a tri-series, and you want to win that Audi, it's like, you know. But it's there.
see, yeah, I had to max out. I used 30 Fuse B classes, so I had to max out the Audi R8 and the Ford Focus to win the legendary from as seen on YouTube.
That is now, yeah. So that is now every single prize Chevrolet that has been released that we have achieved. Obviously, you have your 100% ZR1.
Yep.
Don't think those combos are ever gonna come out. They've been in the game they've been in the game as long as the ZR1 LE, and they've just not seen the light of day. So.
Yeah, and the ZR1s came out 3 times, so in the same time.
3 times, and this came out 2 times. I think the Z06.
Yeah, the Z06 was like the first or second prize car ever from a tri-series.
Well, that's it. I just have 2 more epic Chevrolets to gun down, and that would be every single epic Chevrolet in the collection. Just the C6 and the C5.
Yeah, I gotta win the base C6, the C7 Grand Sport, the C6 Lingenfelder, and I have to get the C4 ZR1, which I didn't win in that one challenge when it was guaranteed.
I mean, if you want, I guess next time I'll just race you to all Chevrolets.
Yeah.
I think that.
I have all the.
Yeah, that should be possible.
Yeah, I have all the C class and below, and I'm only missing the 1 B class. So.
I am missing a lot of the commons because I don't want to collect the ones that they made from Mexico, like the Matiz. And then surprisingly, I don't have the Camaro Z28, which everybody has, because I hate the spec on the car, like the orange. Just doesn't feel right.
I like the orange, but I mean it's like the 77, so it's really slow and like basic.
Yeah.
Fuel crisis.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously that don't want that.
kind of ugly. Yeah, I don't have it maxed. Don't blame
Never
me.
unpacked this one before, but I would love that in my garage. And I've actually never unpacked the C6. I think.
Yeah, the regular one,
I feel like
the
I've
base
unpacked
model.
this on another person's account because I remember I have unpacked one, but I've never unpacked it on my own, and that was like a long time ago. I've unpacked the Z06 like a long time ago. I fused it away, and I've just never gotten it again, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, 2001 packs.
Yeah, like it was a really long time ago, but yeah, dude, we did it. I don't know what else to say. We did it. So, Wyatt, would you like to do the outro?
Okay. I gotta think of what to say. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching Blossom. Make sure to like and subscribe. Once again, I say it every time I do my own video. I have so many packs I need to upload. Legendaries. I should really do it. So maybe subscribe to me. I don't know.
I'm gonna link your channel in the description below.
Okay. Yeah, I'll queue up like 100 carbon fiber packs and upload them in celebration for the Camaro. But yeah.
4th of July, dude.
4th of July, dude. Yeah, exactly. All like, I probably have some American carbon fibers I need to upload. But yeah, subscribe to Blossom, like the video, comment how cool the Camaro is or what your favorite prize car that you most want is, and enjoy the song Bonneville. See ya.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got it, jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got it, jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair,